What are the things that your business provides and how are you going to help people grow? That's primary. People want to know if they're going to engage in your business, what do they get? What do they gain? What are they going to walk away with? These are questions you need to be asking yourself every day. What will people gain? What will people get? And what are they going to walk away with? You need to be able to answer those questions for people. Welcome to this episode. Today we're going to talk about starting your own business and 7 specific things that you'll need to know when starting your own business. So to jump right into it, I'm Chris P. Austin, your host. I want you to understand the first thing we're going to talk about today, so make sure you get your notepad out, make sure you have your notes section ready. First thing we're going to talk about is turning your idea into a business plan. That's number 1. There's a lot of great ideas out there. There's people all around the world coming up with brand new ideas on a daily basis. The biggest location that people tend to miss when it comes to having a new idea and that actually becoming a new business is turning it into a real business plan. So what's the difference between having an idea and having a business plan? A business plan is something that anybody who's going to do business with you needs to have and wants to have in order to feel comfortable about putting their money forward, putting their time forward, or putting their energy forward, and sometimes even their thumbs up. So what separates a business plan and an idea? An idea is something that's floating around in your head, maybe something you've talked to your family about, maybe something you've rolled around with your friends or the locals. A business plan is something that is laid out on a sheet of paper. It has step by step. It shows where we're going, it shows where we are, and it shows everything in between. So the things that you'll need inside of your business plan, there's traditional business plans, and of course you can freestyle your own business plan. But the things that you'll need inside of a business plan are, what is the ultimate goal? And you want to work backwards from there. How much do you plan on this business endeavor being able to make? And when do you plan on it being able to make that buy? That is the baseline. And then everything works backwards from there. So what things are you going to need for the business plan? What physical things? Are you going to need other people's money? Are you going to be putting in your own money? Do you need specific location? What kind of time frame? Do you need real estate? Do you need materials? These are things you're going to want to know. How is the business going to operate? That's a very important thing to make sure that you keep in mind. So when it comes to operation of the business, who's going to work there? What happens on the day-to-day? What are the different responsibilities of the people involved in the business? But making sure that you have a business plan is crucial to having a successful business. So my recommendation is before you put $1 into starting your business and getting your business going, there's a legitimate business plan in place that you'd feel comfortable putting in front of whoever it is you want to do business with. Putting that in front of the customer, putting that in front of the other investors, putting that in front of your partners. These things are important for you to start your business on the right foot. Let's get into number 2, collecting capital. When it comes to collecting capital, aka having enough money and resources to be able to have the business funded, you want to know 3 things. Where are you right now from a financial standpoint? Number 2, who are you going to be asking to help or assist in getting you to the financial standpoint that you'd like to be in? And then, are you going to be trying to do this from a cash basis or a loan basis? So if you're trying to do this with cash, you're not going to be paying really massive amounts of interest to get your business funded. There's businesses that work well that way. An example I like to use is the old-fashioned lemonade stand. So you get your table, you get your jug of water, you get your jug of lemons, you get your sugar, and then you mix the 3 of them, and that's not going to cost you a whole lot. Most people would be able to start a lemonade stand without having to seek out loans. If you're a person who wants to start up a table tennis business, and you want to do it with 100 ping pong tables inside of a facility, and you want to have food, you want to have drinks, you want to have an opportunity to work out, you're going to most likely need a decent amount of capital to get something like that going. Lots of square footage to be able to host 100 tables. You're going to need the tables, you're going to need paddles, you're going to need balls, you're going to need an announcer, you're going to need all these different things to make the area comfortable and to have people wanting to come in and wanting to continue to come in. So understanding what capital will be necessary is very important, and how to even start with understanding how much capital you'll need. Being able to do this research is really important, and it begins with you getting on the internet and communicating with people who already have experience in the space. And never get confused. Because you have an idea that doesn't mean that it's unwise of you to share that idea with people who are already in a similar space. For example, if you're a person who wants to get into a relationship business, you want to coach people on how to have better relationships. You communicating with somebody who's already in the space is wise. It's not a situation where they steal your idea and then there's no market for you, or that person is going to try to purposely sabotage you or something like that. It's wise for you to find 1, 2, 3 resources of people who are already in your space, who you can communicate with, ask questions, get the breakdown, because you're going to be putting your own spin on it anyway. You're going to be the only you who can do the business the way you have done it. For myself, the different types of businesses I have sports businesses, I have relationship businesses, I have businesses that deal with business. And each time I've utilized resources of mine, friends of mine, contacts of mine to pick their brain on, when you did this for the first time, what is it that was important for you? And some things I take and some things I leave. If I have a sports business, I look at other people who've been in the sports business and I look at what things would I take, what things would I leave. And I always put my own spin on it, and that's what makes it a special business for me. So when you're looking at having capital, when you're looking at being able to fund your business, you've got to make sure those 3 things are in check. How much money do you have right now if you're putting in your own money? How much money are you asking for from other people? And what are they going to get in return? And then, are you going to be doing this from a cash basis, or are you going to be doing this from a loan basis? If you do it from a cash basis, there's not going to be a big interest down payment later. If you do it from a loan basis, a lot of times you'll have more money to utilize now, and you will have the responsibility to pay it back later. Getting into number 3, primary investments. This is what things are absolutely important that you spend money on now. Starting a business. I'll give you 3 examples. Let's go over a business-related situation. If you want to start a business that has to do with finance, you want to be a financial officer and you want to have other financial officers who work with you and you help people get their finances in order. You need to understand a building where you can house these people, because starting a business like that from a distance, it is possible, but my recommendation would be from up front, you having a space where you can all collaborate, get together, be on the same page, build the business. So you would need tables, you would need chairs, you would need at least one room where everybody can collaborate together. You would need to be able to pay the electricity bill to house the lights. You would need to pay the water bill for people who want to use the bathroom or use the water and drink that way. You would need to have a multitude of things just that are small, things that a lot of people don't pay attention to. Another example would be parking. You have to make sure that there's a parking lot. You have to make sure that everything's permitted. These are things that you have to have money up front for. When you're trying to get inside of a building, a lot of people don't pay attention to this. There's money to be paid for permits, for you to be able to build the business, for you to be able to house the business. And this is not to scare you away from having a building. This is to make sure that you feel prepared heading into starting a business. Example number 2, perhaps you're wanting to get into relationships. And in this situation, you're not going to have a building. From your own home, your home office, you're going to utilize equipment you already have. You're going to utilize your cell phone, you're going to utilize your computer, and you're just going to create a website where people will be able to seek you out for relationship advice. People will be able to seek you out for the opportunity to come work with you in person, and maybe you do that at your house, or maybe you do that at a local place like a Starbucks. Not that that's always going to be the best move for you, but you get the point. Making sure that when you start that business, you keep in mind, how much is a website going to cost? How much is it going to cost the upkeep of the website? Am I going to be doing advertising and branding through social media? Am I going to be able to get my name out there utilizing Google ads, utilizing Instagram ads, TikTok ads, YouTube ads, examples? So you want to make sure, whether you're in that first primary example of you're starting a finance business, you're going to house it in a space, there's other people involved, or you're in that second example, you want to start a relationship business, it's just you, there's not a lot of overhead, some of the things you already have, you're just turning into business expenses as opposed to personal expenses, i.e. before your cell phone was an expense for your personal, but now you're starting Relationship Maker LLC. You can transition that cell phone and you can transition that computer now to a business expense, and it can become something that you write off for your business. So you're spending less money that way. It all depends on what sort of business you want to get started, and there's some ideas for you. And the third example, let's say it's in sports, and you want to be a person who has people come to your facility because you've got 3 different options for them. When people come in, one option is they can train their sport. Another option is they can get some advice on how to do things better in their sport. And number 3 is they can work out outside of touching the ball or doing the swimming of their sport. They want to just come work out their body and get stronger. In that example, you're going to need to decide, do you want to have other people with you, or are you going to do it alone? Is this going to be in a complex that you rent out? Is this going to be a complex that you buy? These are all the decisions that you need to make before starting the project. And that doesn't mean that you can't get going on starting to coach, or you can't get going on starting to build the relationships, or you can't get going on starting to talk about finance. Those are the things you do want to get going on. But the actual business, you want to have your ducks in a row. You want to have everything lined up before you start putting it out there, because the foundation is crucial to having a successful business. If you don't have a really solid foundation before you get going on these business ideas, things can break down on you later. For example, if you don't have an LLC or you don't have some sort of corporation set up that's going to protect you should your business get sued, or should your business have some type of issue, or should your business have a problem from a financial standpoint, you want to understand how to protect yourself right away. You want to understand what are some of the potholes and pitfalls that people run into when they're starting businesses, and avoid those, so you don't have to cut 10 times after only measuring once. You want to measure 10 times and cut once. That's how you're going to have a more clean business, and that's how you're ultimately going to raise your percentages of having success in your business. So primary investments, thinking about what things do I need to have, not the wants. Not, oh, I'd rather have a red strip of paint there rather than the current gray strip of paint that's there. That's a detail that may matter a lot to you that you utilize, but that's not the primary investment. The primary investment are what are the meat and potatoes of how this business is going to run. Humans, that's the primary thing. Making sure you have equipment, that's a primary thing. Making sure you have the ability to advertise, that's a primary thing. So, we're going to take a break in the action right now to ask you, if you're enjoying this video, if you're still watching, please jump down, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button for this video so I can create more videos for you just like this one that are informative, giving you information and helping you get to the next level. And for sure, before you leave, make sure you drop something for me in the comments. I'd like to know your thoughts on the video. I'd like to know other videos you'd like information on. And more than anything, I just like to build that relationship and have interactions with you. So if you could jump in and subscribe, hit that like button, drop me a comment, that would be really much appreciated. So heading into number 4, people, how to hire. How to hire is a really big deal if you're creating a business that you want to scale. If you want to scale a business and you want to help it grow, you're ultimately going to require other people, whether that's other people on the front lines, actually doing the work, actions, putting together the elbow grease, or whether that's people on the back end doing behind the scenes, computers, helping with advertising so that you can be the face of your business. Either way you shake it, you're most likely going to need people. And in order to have people in the most successful situation, you need to understand how to hire. So, things to think about when it comes to how to hire. You want to first understand what characteristics are you looking for. Some different characteristics you might pay attention to. How much experience does somebody have in the field? That can be an important thing. But I would recommend when it comes to hiring, you always find people who have passion or show passion toward the business idea or business endeavor that you're going into. If you're a person who's going into a sports business, you want to make sure that you find people who are very enthusiastic and energetic as it pertains to sports. Is that helping young people in sports? Is that helping older people in sports? Is that helping sports teams and getting engagement with them and getting contracts? Is that helping sports individuals like high-profile athletes and working with them to help maximize their brand? Whatever your situation is, whether it be in business, if it be in relationships, if it be in sports or another arena, you want to make sure that the hiring process for you is solid. And you're not always going to get aces as it pertains to hiring, because remember, when you're hiring, People are going to give you the best versions of themselves. They're going to be putting on a show to make you feel like, yes, I'm the person, I'm the woman, I'm the man, I'm the person who you should hire. And that's not to say that you go into hiring situations with distrust. You go into hiring situations open. You go into hiring situations believing that people are going to have the opportunity to help your business grow, and you're going to have the opportunity to help them grow in whatever ways they want to grow. But over-communicate as it pertains to hiring. When you're thinking about hiring and when you're actually engaging in hiring, you want to over-communicate. Tell people about the things that are challenging about your business. Tell people what the expectation of time is. Tell people when the opportunity to be able to grow or move up in the business would come and what would be necessary. And don't be shy about these things, because the more you hold the cards, the more challenging it is for somebody else to understand what they're getting into. When it comes to hiring, you want to understand how you're going to be able to help somebody else and how they're ultimately going to be able to help your business grow. And for them to be able to do that, you have to make it very clear to them how that process is going to work. Because if they're confused on how that process is going to work, they're most likely not going to be able to do their best work. So if you want them to be able to do their best work, communicate early, communicate often, and make sure you go in with optimism. The more optimism you give, the better your chances are of being able to have a successful business. So jump in your notes section. Make sure you're taking down notes. The most successful learners to the videos that I put out are going to be the people who document these things in their notes. They document these things with step-by-step actionable things that they can do, and then they go execute. Leading into number 5, you want to be able to create buzz for the business. What is buzz? Buzz is people starting to talk about your business, people starting to get excited about your business, an electricity starting to build as it pertains to your business. And how do you create buzz? You create buzz by being present, first of all. Remember, out of sight, out of mind. When people don't know you're there, you're not going to be in their thoughts. So you've got to remember, make sure your actions show. You want people to come into your business. You want people to engage with your business. You want people to understand what it is you're doing. Ways to do that. Consistently communicating out in your area or to your demographic. What are the things that your business provides, and how are you going to help people grow? That's primary. People want to know if they're going to engage in your business, what do they get? What do they gain? What are they going to walk away with? These are questions you need to be asking yourself every day. What will people gain? What will people get? And what are they going to walk away with? You need to be able to answer those questions for people. Answer it one-on-one conversations. Answer it in group settings. Answer it on media, social media. Make sure that the buzz is being created by you consistently talking about what people are going to gain or get. Number 2 with buzz, you want to make sure that you have multiple platforms that you're reaching people. Social media is real right now, and you being able to create branding and create marketing on social media is how you're going to get your business to the next level. So if right now you're not a part of social media platforms, you're going to want to get a part of social media platforms. For the primary reason being, that's where the attention is. The large percentage of humans have social media, and this is how they're digesting content, this is how they're picking up new content, and this is how they're starting to pay more attention to what's happening. So you want to make sure that you're involved in these. Create buzz around your business. Start to get people excited about what you're doing. Specific ways that you can do that. Giveaways for sure early on. The first amount of people who subscribe will get this. The first amount of people who come will get this. If you give me feedback on the business, you'll get this. And it does not always have to be some high monetary value object. This can be something simple that doesn't cost you a lot of money. Like they will get pinned to your profile. They will get an opportunity for a one-on-one conversation with you to talk about the business and what they want to get out of the business. These are different ideas that you can utilize when it comes to creating buzz. Number 6, keep believing. Once this business gets going, and once you get deeper into these concepts, and once you really start to make this business a real thing, it's very easy to fall back on one mistake, or one roadblock, or one situation where things didn't go how you were hoping. And because of that, a lot of small businesses fail, and a lot of big businesses fail, because people are not willing to stay the course, or people lose organization. So you want to try to make sure, if your business is serious to you, and it's something that you want to be successful, you've got to continue to believe. There's going to be times when it's slow. There's going to be times where things are hard. There's going to be times where it's challenging to get people in the door, or the attention goes somewhere else because there's a new shiny thing elsewhere. Or maybe you're just early on in your process and you have not yet reached the point where things are in flow and things are going consistently. And if you really believe in your business, you've got to be okay with that. Being okay with that does not mean that you sit back and do not take action. Being okay with that means you understand it and you create a plan and you push forward from there. To give you an example, if you're starting the lemonade stand, and at first you've got all your stuff, you got your table, you got your water, you got your sugar, you got your lemons, you got your money jar, and you start out there on the street. And people pass by and they smile and they say nice things, but they don't engage with your business. The two things you do not do are just sit there and change nothing, and you also don't quit. If you really believe in it, you start to experiment. You start to go, maybe I have a day where all the lemonade's already made and it's easy access and people don't have to wait. Maybe you have a day where none of the lemonade's made and you show the process of how you do it in front of them, and that's what's exciting for them. Maybe you have to make a change in your pricing and you start at a little bit of a lower tier so you can build up from there and focus on customer first rather than finance first. Those principles right there can be applied to any business on earth. It doesn't matter if you're in a lemonade stand, if you're going to invest in a pro sports team, or if you are a person who plays the piano in a band. Regardless of what your situation is, you want to make sure you continue to believe if your business idea is that important to you. You stay the course, you make adjustments as you go, and eventually you're going to reach your goals. Finally, number 7, reach and recreate goals. So once you have gone on this course, you've set your business plan, you've collected capital, you've understood what your primary investments are and you've invested in them. You've started the hiring process and you've gotten some people with you. You've started to create buzz and you're continuing to create buzz. And you're really making yourself believe. You've got to reach these goals that you have. And reaching goals starts with creating goals. So for more information on creating goals, take a look at one of my previous videos on creating goals. Just clicking Chris P. Austin in the platform. Once you reach your goals, you make sure you press on to the next part, which is recreating new goals. This is how you'll be able to scale your business. This is how you'll be able to build. And ultimately, this is how you'll become your best. Reach goals, recreate goals, and send your business to a brand new level so you can be out there helping more people and being able to create more business. If this video is helpful for you, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button, if you hit the like button so I can create more videos like this one for you to be able to digest and get to a new level. Make sure that you leave me a comment, things you liked about the video, things you'd like to see in the future during videos like this one. And until the next time I see you, I'm signing off. See you next video.